Good afternoon, everybody. It's Stephen Paul. He's the one that's cracking up over on the side there. We're back for Daily Brief number 42 for November the 10th.
As we've heard the last 2 days on the show, Black Ops. And yesterday after recording, I had all my day's work done. And I thought, you know what, Hudson is going to fall asleep over there, so somebody should go stick a big penis in the wet one and see what happens. Anyway, I went to play Black Ops yesterday after recording the show, and my my Xbox 360 kicked the bucket. It just went tits up and refused to play. So, thankfully, I found a repair guy locally. You guys can find him on Twitter at @electronics_spa. And now he is here in Mobile, Alabama, but he also does a lot of his work over eBay. For $25 locally or $40 through eBay, he will fix almost anything and everything that you can think of on your Xbox 360. And last night, in the space of about half an hour, he did a turnaround repair on my machine for me while I was sitting there, and it got me back here playing Xbox 360, playing Black Ops. So, really massive kudos for a job well done, and at a very, very reasonable price.
So the world didn't come to an absolute end for you then?
No, I just had a couple of hours of panic, really, deciding whether or not I was going to, sacrifice what remained of the Xbox 360 to the great electronics gods in the sky, but I decided not to and get it repaired instead. And now I'm a happy bunny.
Yes, and speaking of bunnies and all things farmy.
That is like the worst segue ever. Let's just get into it.
All right.
Guess what is the number 2 app on Facebook behind Farmville?
I am betting that nobody would be able to guess it if they hadn't read this post over at Read Write Web.
No, most people would probably think it's, one of those other games similar to Farmville, or, Stalk My Neighbor or something. But it actually turns out that it's MSN Messenger.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal. Think about it. So while Facebook has chat, there are 9 million daily users of MSN Messenger on Facebook.
And I'm not one.
And that's not 9 million people with the desktop client installed. No, this is 9 million people using the MSN Messenger app in Facebook.
That one, I got to admit, that one caught me off guard. I was not expecting that myself either. I definitely wasn't.
What can I say except epic numerage for Facebook? Of course, that's Farmville at number 1, Windows Live Messenger at number 2. Number 3 is something called Phrases, which I've never heard of. Nope. Number 4 is a Farmville clone, Frontierville. Number 5 is Texas Hold'em Poker. Number 6 is Bejeweled Blitz, which is a game that a friend of mine at I am Wigan on Wigan Out, on Twitter loves to play, and the rest then are just more and more sort of silly games. So,
the other thing that came out is that Microsoft has launched Office for Mac 2011. Yes,
well, finally, because Mac hasn't had a new release of Office since the Office 2008. Getting a lot of the new features that we have in Office 2010 on the PC, such as the ribbon and the dynamic reorder. Of course, big thing to push, because apparently it is the big thing to push on Mac these days, is full screen.
Okay.
Just like Steve Jobs at the recent Apple conference where he announced full screen apps on Mac OS X. Well, now you have Microsoft Word in full screen. Aren't you Mac users so damn happy?
God, thank you, Microsoft, for that. But on another note, on another screen, yes, it seems we have our first Windows Phone 7 product placement.
In Hawaii 5.0, which I still haven't seen an episode of, but my understanding is that it's some sort of detective thing with a lot of women running around in bikinis.
And guns blowing up.
And guns blowing up.
Yeah.
So apparently one of them gets told, "Bing it," sounds like a sexual harassment lawsuit waiting to happen, whips a cell phone out to Bing it, and it happens to be a Windows Phone 7. I believe it's Samsung, but I'm not sure.
Samsung, LG, HTC, they all sold 0, or next to 0, apparently.
Utter twat bollocks.
Yeah, well, hey, the street says they only sold 40,000 handsets yesterday.
40,000 handsets in one day, on a Monday launch. Okay, right. First off, Microsoft, let's get something correct here. Who launches on a bloody Monday? Friday or Saturday. And seriously, leaving it until November is, you should have done this in October.
Like we
said, because you're just those couple of weeks too close to Christmas.
Yes.
Now, still, if, as we have had reported, it's only 40,000 phones. Now, this is coming from one source, which I haven't managed to track down yet. And Microsoft themselves has said, we don't release those numbers. That will be up to individual carriers when they're ready.
But they did give the guys at the Next Web, a couple people at T-Mobile and one other company, a direct access line to talk to them.
Yes. So, there may be more to come out of this. But even so, even if it is 40,000 handsets on a Monday, after the release of Black Ops, hello, who's going to have spare money after Black Ops came out? And with Christmas right around the corner. Well, you know what? This just reminds me of the launch of Android then, when Android came out. Because when Android came out, sales were at a dribble.
Yeah.
But as they say, look at it now, baby. Look at it now. Yeah. It's grown. And it ain't Viagra.
Now, this next one, I read this, and I desperately want to just reach through the screen and slap the guy. Seriously.
Now, before we go on,
yes?
Let me just premise this 40,000 sales on a Monday in the US has got nothing to do with the 89,000 phones going to Microsoft employees, the
250,000 in Europe.
250,000 in Europe, at least. It's got nothing to do with all the 25,000 going to Best Buy. It's got nothing to do with all the phones going to all of the Home Depot staff or to all of the workers in New York who work for the municipality. So, take that, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Next, Hudson. Sorry, I just needed to add that in.
Tech Radar has an article. Windows Phone 8, 20 things we want to see.
Yeah, Tech Article has an article that says, basically, you know what?
I'm an idiot.
I've gone around and I've done a list of all the things that it currently doesn't have, and I'm going to say I want it in the next operating system, even though Microsoft has already said that most of these are going to come through over-the-air patches that the networks can't stop. Anyway, soon.
Very soon. A couple weeks.
Head up ours soon.
Yeah. But, okay, copy and paste. Okay, this one's been done to death. We know it's coming in a couple of weeks. All right?
Even debate. Look, the copy and paste debate has gone this mundane that it's now down to debating what the definition of a couple of weeks is.
That's like the old Clinton, what does is mean, or, whatever the hell that was.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I don't sound anything like Clinton. An Irishman trying to do a bad American accent. I can't even remember what the guy he's trying to impersonate sounds like.
But the one that got, a couple of the ones that got me, aggregated email. WP7 tends to prefer a Windows Live email address. While the email client is useful enough, there's no way to add all your email accounts and have them grouped together in one client.
I'm sorry, but this isn't the corporate phone!
But there is another thing, too. One word, Hotmail. Add them all into Hotmail, they all come in underneath there.
Add them all into Hotmail and they all come in underneath it. This is a feature we talked about that was added to Hotmail during the week. We talked about it on yesterday's show. It's just like aggregating everything in Gmail, and you can still send and receive under the email address that you want.
YouTube app should have been integrated.
Built into the browser. Hello?
But he wants a separate app for it.
We'll go download one.
But it's clunky. Free. It's clunky.
So is your mother.
Tweets from within first-party apps.
So now you're complaining about tweets not being in apps that aren't made by Microsoft?
Well, you know, he wants to be able to sit in Zoom and tweet that he's listening to something.
Get on your desktop. Let me see that in, I don't know, your iPhone? Is it there? I don't think so. Is it in Android? Not to the best of my knowledge. Come on.
Jeez. Create PowerPoint from scratch.
Go into the browser. Go into Live Docs. Hello.
Advanced editing in Word.
Advanced editing should be done either online or at your desktop. Yes. This is a smartphone. It's not a computer replacement.
Better software support for 4G networks.
What 4G networks?
Oh, wallpaper on the home screen. Even though that is totally against...
see it behind all of the tiles.
But you see, but the thing is, that's totally against the design ethic that they have to begin with. So why are they... Poof! Slap. Anyway.
Let's get something straight. The home screen is supposed to be one unified experience that is customized by changing the tiles for people. It's about a design ethic. Okay? If you don't like it, you have other mobile platforms to choose from. And answer me this. Considering the size of the screen and considering how many tiles you have on it, if you did put a wallpaper on there, what would you see?
Oh, he wants...
Seriously?
Yeah, but he wants high-def downloads.
Dude, you must have money to burn on your mobile plan.
Okay. Back to the real world. Motorola is...
not getting back. Oh, yeah, sorry. Right.
Microsoft is suing Motorola again.
Again. And this is interesting. Basically, it's patents again. But it's patents that Microsoft is actually licensing from Motorola, like for codecs and etc. Stuff that is in Windows Phone 7, it's possibly in Windows, and it's definitely in your Xbox 360. What it comes down to is this, is that when a lot of companies... This is actually an argument that Apple is using against... who are Apple suing? Don't you dare say everybody or I'll beat you to death. It doesn't matter who Apple is suing. Anyway, Apple have set Nokia. Apple have set the precedent by suing Nokia for the same thing. And it's basically when a company comes along and they've got proprietary technology that is essentially a standard, and they say this is a standard and we're going to give it, we'll let everybody use it and charge everybody. Well, when they start charging specific companies more at that point, well, then they're only doing it to be, to price gouge, basically. And that's what Microsoft is bringing Motorola to court for. Yes, I got the ending point off you there, Stephen. Here. One last thing we want to talk about really, really, really quickly is, what bloody planet is Katy Perry from? Doesn't she realize who writes her checks? After the release of Windows Phone 7, where Katy Perry did a concert that Microsoft paid her to do and gave everybody free tickets to go to, she went ahead and complained, mind you, that Microsoft didn't give everybody a free bar. And her excuse for giving out about Microsoft, it's Microsoft. Don't they own half the world? And that should mean you should have a free bar? Can you imagine the media uproar if somebody got loaded drunk at a Katy Perry concert and fell over and hurt themselves and they blamed Microsoft for an open bar?
And on that note, folks, this is Steve, that's Paul. This has been Daily Brief for November the 10th. See ya.
See you, folks.